We are on the recruiting trail, and I'm going to talk about one of the most popular questions that I get. We're talking about the recruiting process. It is hard to get in touch with college football coaches. So we're going to go through a little scenario and try and help out, give you some tips on how to contact them, what you should be saying, all of that fun stuff. So I got a question the other night from a kid I think lives in Texas, but he has a dream of playing football at Tulane. So we're going to use Tulane as an example. And if I'm a junior in high school, just finished my season, and I want to start reaching out to coaches, you should probably be doing this during the junior season, but that's okay. So it's the end of the year, and I'm going to go hard and heavy into contacting coaches and really getting my film out there. So go to Google. I'm going to go Tulane football staff. We're going to check out their website. Here's the football coaches. All right, so we got the head coach, Willie Fritz, goes through the coordinators, the position coaches, all of that. For this example, I'm going to make believe that I'm a junior running back in a high school in Texas, okay? The running back coach here is Jamal Fobbs. So Coach Fobbs, the first inkling for everybody, family and recruits, is to reach out to the position coach on that college football program that you're interested in. It could be an approach. However, most likely, the running back coach is not going to be responsible for every running back across the country. At some point, once they get funneled down to the running backs that they really like, that running back coach will most likely take over for that communication and build that relationship in combination with the area coach. So what's more important at this point is to figure out who that area coach is. When I say area coach, I mean that every coach on the staff has a specific area. It might be a state. It might be several counties in the state. Who finding out who is responsible for recruiting your high school is going to be the most important thing. However, that information is very top secret in a sense. So basically, programs kind of hide that information so the guys that really shouldn't be recruited by Tulane aren't reaching out to the exact person that's responsible for recruiting that school. It's a little bit of a block, a little bit of a firewall to prevent some of the spam emails that come every day. You can't prevent it, but it's kind of a technique to limit that a little bit. So am I going to reach out to Coach Fobbs? Maybe, but I recommend not doing that at first, okay? Coach Fobbs has his own area that he's responsible for. Let's say he's responsible for the state of Florida or several counties in Florida. It's a big state to recruit, right? So he is not necessarily going to open up every email of running backs that are looking to come to Tulane. His responsibility is Florida at this time. So what do we do next? I'm going to move down here. I'm going to find somewhere on this website. There's always going to be, for the most part, 90% of the time, there will always be somebody listed that's responsible for recruiting, okay? Right here, you have the director of recruiting operations, which is Don Landholm. Great coach, great guy. I worked with him at Purdue when I was a grad assistant there. So awesome guy. Crazy that he is in this spot. Good for him. So you have a director of recruiting operations. You might have something called the recruiting coordinator. Player personnel sometimes is obviously involved in recruiting. However, it's obvious right here, director of recruiting operations, Don Landholm. It has his email right there. I can click that email and just take it from there. I'm going to open up a Word document here and just show you a little bit of what I would do if I were reaching out. So just typing it out here. Hi, Coach. My name is Kyle Smith. I'm a 2023 running back at, let's just say, X high school in Texas. Okay. It has been a dream of mine to go or to attend Tulane University since I was 10. Okay. Congratulations on the big year, which I don't know if they had a big year or not. I watched several games. Okay. The reason that I'm opening up this way is to make it personal. Okay. Find something about the team, find something about the program that you really saw, you really witnessed, or have interest in. This is going to tie the coach's eyeballs basically a little bit tighter to the email. Even if you know something about Coach Landholm or any other coach that you're trying to get in touch with, say that, okay, in the first 2 or 3 sentences, and that's all you need to know, or that's all you need to include. Again, any other detail that might bring their attention to your email specifically over the hundreds of emails that they get every day. Okay. Um, I spoke with Coach Kyle Smith, who worked with you at Purdue in 2009, whatever it was. He said you were a great coach. Okay. So that connects me to Coach Landholm, and really ties him into the conversation, and almost, asks for a reply more than any other spam email. Okay. Here is my link to my huddle video. I look forward to hearing from you. And down here, you could list all of your credentials: height, weight, GPA, stats. I will be honest, nobody really looks at the stats. They just want to click the link and go from there. So I'll add the link there, but you could add the URL. Okay. So there's my email. I'm going to send it away. Here's a little trick. Okay. And I'm in the business, I'm in a professional position. I'm in an HR position. If you're in a sales position, you're in any position. If somebody emails you and CCs your boss, includes your boss on that email, there is a 90% increase of a chance for me to address that email faster than usual. Okay, so think about that. If I'm emailing anybody on this list, I am going to include the head coach. Okay, however, a lot of the times in these bigger schools, the head coach email is not listed. So S. Meyer at Tulane, that's probably, I don't know who that is, but some support staff, or maybe the executive assistant there that works the head coach's email and desk. So what I would do, looks like they don't have an offensive coordinator listed at this point. But if I was a defensive position, or that coach was on a defensive position, I'd CC someone that was responsible for the whole defense. So you got the head coach as the boss, and then you got the coordinators, defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, as that second level boss that might be supervising these other guys. So there's a little tip to just include somebody's boss there as you're going, and as you send an email, and is more of a chance to get a response. So that's a big way to reach out and start getting in touch, getting into their database, receiving communications, all of that. There's other ways, obviously, that we can get involved here. We can go to Twitter, and on my profile, I am going to reach out to, let's see if Don Landholm is on Twitter somewhere. Director of Recruiting Operations. There he is. Good looking coach, Don Landholm, Director of Recruiting Operations. I'll hit it with a follow, and go from there. So you can start messaging now. If you're a junior in high school, they're not going to be able to respond, but any way, shape, or form possible, you get your link in front of this coach. Okay. I'm going to add him to the list. If you take a peek, I got all lists of different types of classes: 25, 24, 23, all the way up to 26. I got a list of college coaches. This way, if you want to go back and just kind of work through college coaches and get in touch with them, there's a list there for you to kind of get involved. Okay, so Coach Landholm's obviously going to tweet out some recruiting materials, engage in that material, like, little retweet, little respond, good stuff. Coach can't wait to get to, whoa, I can't even type, get to campus, something like that. And just making sure you're present in their mind until they tell you to leave them alone. As simple as that. Um, Here's the other thing I'll do. So if I have a dream of playing at Tulane University, um, there's always one other thing that I would do and stay diligent and execute. So you just did that with one coach. You want to sit there and do that to as many coaches as you can each night to get more of an opportunity to speak to somebody and get somebody to respond. So what I usually do, if I don't know who else is in their conference, I'm going to go to NCAA football. I'm going to look at standings. Then I'm going to go to, what conference does Tulane play in? I don't even know. Tulane Football Conference. Okay, we'll do that. They're in the AAC. So we're going to go here to conferences. We're going to drop down to, where are they? American, right? Yes, sir. Here they are. Tulane. Ooh, tough year. 1-7. Yikes. But hey, here's everyone else in their conference. So the reason I do this is because these are comparable schools. These are the competitors, okay? I'm going to reach out to every school unless I have some kind of affinity against one of these schools. If you have a genuine interest in playing in any of these schools, I'm going to reach out to these schools and do the same exact thing with the same exact recruiting coordinator position, all of that to get the ball rolling within the conference, okay? Here's another secret. The hardest scholarship to get is the first offer. Okay, the hardest offer to get is your first offer. Just like the hardest job to get at a college is your first job. Once you get that first offer, the competitors from that school that offer you are going to be more interested. They said, "Ooh, who's this Kyle Smith kid?" They saw that Tulane offered them. They're at least going to go look at your film to see if you've been evaluated by their school, and if they can compete, get in the picture with you and compete with Tulane. Because they don't want any athlete that they don't know about committing and signing with a school in their conference that they're competing against, because that area coach will be in trouble if they don't know about you. All right. So I'm just going to use another example. UCF had a great year a couple of years ago or last year, whenever that was. I'm going to use them. I'm going to go UCF football staff. All right. So we're going to find that. Coach Gus Malzahn running the show there. Football coaches, USF or UCF, same exact layout, right? All these teams, all these programs have kind of similar websites. Let's look through this a little bit. We got the head coach, we got the coordinators. Can we find somebody in recruiting? They got the Twitter handles right on the right side. You can follow every single one of those coaches. That's excellent. All right, support staff, football operations, player development might be something there. Here we go. Player personnel. We got the director of on-campus recruiting. On-campus recruiting is somebody that takes care of the operations for on-campus visits. You know, the hotels, the travel, the coordination of hosts and tours and all that stuff. She's the director of on-campus recruiting, and she has, you got your bio there, you got everything you need. We got the email address there. I'm going to copy that email address and go back to my email and go to hi Miss Burkett and just kind of revamp the email and get personal again. What you're interested about at UCF, if there's a game you saw over that year, anything like that. So simple tip here, you are basically going to do this over and over and over. I would go through the whole conference and then I'd move to the next conference, okay? And whatever other school that you're interested in. My last piece of advice is to start small and work your way up. What I mean by that, if you have 0 offers, this American Athletic Conference might be a good conference to start at. However, I'm going to go lower. I'm going to go to FCS schools. If there are FCS schools in my state, I'm going to start there. And again, do the same exact thing with conferences. Let's use the, so Here we go. FCS Division 1A or 1AA. So I know Sam Houston's in that area, Stephen F. Austin. This would be a great conference to start working through and really reach out to and get in contact. So same exact thing. Sam Houston football staff. All right, you guys get the drift. Casey Keeler, legendary coach from Delaware, won some national championships. And there's the staff directory right there. All right, so we're looking through here. FCS teams are going to be a little different. There's going to be less on staff. So you might have somebody that's a position coach that's, a position coach that also is the recruiting coordinator. So you have to keep an eye on that. Here's football in the drop down there. And here we go. Head coach, D coordinator, offensive coordinator, pass game. Let's see. Here we go. Look, we got Chris Buckner, running back coach, offensive recruiting coordinator coach. All right. So with this staff, they have an offensive recruiting coordinator. They have a defensive recruiting coordinator. So whatever position you're on, that's the right person to look at. And, find that maybe with this, if you're a running back, I would reach out to Chris Buckner, put him on the email, and then put on the offensive coordinator, Coach Carty, on the email as well. It just gives a little bit more of a sense of urgency, and you can go from there. So there we have it. Just a simple way to kind of a technique to get in touch with college coaches. It is really up to you to get this thing going. We'll talk a little bit more about this, about the communication and how to reach out and who to reach out to. But hopefully this gives you a little start to the recruiting process. Please feel free to comment with any questions, any topics that you want to see covered on this channel. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Take care.